Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. I'm gonna talk. We're gonna talk afterwards. Okay. You heard me? Okay. All right. Testing 1 2 1 2. This is Maury Yacob and ITFTR Network. We thank the Creator for each one of you. All praises to Marcos. Marcus, I don't want to mix your name up, but all praises to you. Girl, is going on? I don't know what's going on. There's something going on here. Give me a minute. We thank the Creator for each one of you for coming on. Make sure as when you come into the building, you press that like and subscribe button. This is question and answer tonight. Anybody got any questions? Let me make sure I put the link in the chat. Let me put the link in the chat if you want to come up and have a conversation with me on any subject dealing with the Bible or dealing with history, indigenous history of America. You're more than welcome to come up. The link is in the chat. If you would like to have a conversation with me. Praises to JoJo. Happy Shabbat. Shabbat to you. Happy Shabbat to you as well. Family, happy Shabbat. And make sure when you come into the building, you press that like and subscribe button. If you got any questions you want to ask, you can make sure you can post it in the chat, and you can come on up to the platform. And if nobody don't have any questions for right now, then I'm gonna ask a question. All praises to each one of you. Let's go. I got a question. I'm gonna kind of touch on a little bit Matthew the 12th chapter. See who been studying Matthew the 12th chapter. Let's start at verse 1. It says, at the time JC went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were hungry and began to pluck the ears of the corn and did eat. My question is, did JC and his disciples break the law? Did they break the law in verse 1 of chapter 12? Did JC and his disciples break the law in Matthew the 12th chapter, verse 1? Did they break the law? And if they did, can you show the law that they broke? See, a lot of times we want people to expound on a lot of things, but there are times where you have to and you need to expound. Did JC and his disciples break the law in Matthew the 12th chapter, verse 1? Happy Shabbat to Sister Victoria. Shalom, shalom. Happy Shabbat. Make sure when you come into the building, you press that like and subscribe button. Did JC and his disciples break the law in Matthew 12 chapter verse 1? And if they did, what law did they break? What law did they break? See, I know a lot of people, they love this JC. They love this guy. They love JC. But JC was a homosexual. Let me say it again. JC was a homosexual. He was the strong one too. You better watch it. JC was a strong one. He was a strong one, family. I kind of let the secret out the bag today with a couple of people. When I got plenty more on this guy. That's why I be trying to tell people, you need to read that New Testament, and you need to read it careful, because you're going to see the real true life of JC. Shalom, shalom to Zipporah, Trey, and Zayden. Happy Shabbat. Make sure when you come into the building, you press that like and subscribe button. Any questions that you want to ask, put in the chat, or you can come up to the platform. You can ask it live. But my first question is tonight, did JC and his disciples break the law in Matthew 12 chapter verse 1? Did he break the law? I want to see who knows the law. Because we got a lot of people who would defend this guy, saying, no, he didn't break the law. Or we have a lot of people we got a few people say, yeah, he did break the law. So which one is it? Did he break the law? Or did he keep the law? In Matthew 12 chapter verse 1. Did he break the law? Or did he keep the law? Okay, that's my first question. Okay, my second question is, let's go to the 13th chapter. Let's look at verse 1. And it says, and the same day went JC out of the house and sat on the seaside. Verse 2. And great multitudes were gathered together unto who? Him. So that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seed fell by the what? Wayside. And the fowls came and devoured them up. Verse 5, some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had to what? They had no deepness of earth. Verse 6, and when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Verse 7, and some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Verse 8, and others fell into what? Good ground, and brought forth fruit, and some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who has an ear, let him hear. Now, my question is, what was JC talking about? these different seeds? This is my second question. What was JC talking about these seeds being spread around? Some didn't have no roots. Some had thorns and thistles. Kill them, choke them. But he said some fell on good ground. Well, what good ground was he talking about? That's my next question. What was the good ground JC was talking about? In Matthew the 12th, 13th chapter, verse 8. But others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit. Some 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. What was JC talking about when he mentioned any of that? These are my two questions. Anybody got any questions? You can bring it forth and you can ask it. Sister Latoya put up the church, which includes anyone who carries forth his doctrine, was the good ground. Yes, he was talking about the church. He wasn't talking about anything else but the church. See, a lot of us, a lot of times, we look at the doctrine of how it's worded by these people, how they position it and taught it in church. JC in chapter 12, verse 1, broke the law. Okay? He broke the law. A lot of times you don't want to see that this man broke the law. He broke the law. Because the Bible says, anybody can tell me what are some of the criteria we supposed to do during the Sabbath? Anybody can put it in the chat or come up online, excuse me. You come up online and tell me or explain on the Sabbath what we supposed to be doing. Because we have to be very careful when we talking about we keeping the Sabbath. The Sabbath was straightforward. Brother Marcus said no work was to be done. Okay, that's one. All praises. That's one. No work is to be done. But before that, what you supposed to be doing in order to get to no work? What you supposed to be doing? Sister Latoya put up rest and think about the creative creation and to think about ourselves and have we improved. Correct. We're supposed to be thinking about ourselves, the creation of the creator. And we're supposed to think about ourselves and we're supposed to look at whether or not if we had improved to be able to get back to the Sabbath. That is correct. And Brother Marcus said, I think that's Marcus, preparing for the Sabbath. Correct. We're supposed to be preparing for the Sabbath. Now, look at verse 1 in chapter 12 and explain to me, is JC doing any of that? Is JC preparing, keeping the Sabbath, resting, thinking about the creator creation? Is he doing any of that? This is my question to you. Is he doing any of that? You know, drum roll. Let's laugh. And you got to ask yourself the question, why JC is not doing any of that. These were good answers. These were good answers. No work was to be done. Plucking is a job. That's a job, plucking. We're supposed to be thinking of resting and thinking about the creator creation. And we're supposed to be thinking about ourselves and have we improved. Show me where JC was doing that. We're supposed to be what? Preparing for the Shabbat. Well, if JC was preparing, he wouldn't have been in the cornfield plucking. You see, just the simple things that y'all mentioned, JC broke them. JC broke it. This is the problem. Why people say that this guy right here was perfect without sin. But just on this note, for the things that you put in the chat, JC broke. He broke. So if he broke the law, how do we hold this man sinless? How do we do it? Then this man wants to bring up David in chapter 12. Think about it. He wasn't resting. He was working. They were plucking. That's work. He wasn't thinking about the creator creation. He wasn't thinking about himself. Well, yes, he was. My fault. He was thinking about himself. Happy Shabbat, Brother Shava. Shalom, shalom. Make sure when you come into the building, you press that like and subscribe button, brother. Happy Shabbat. So the brother wasn't thinking about the created creation. He wasn't thinking about rather not if he improved. He wasn't prepared for the Sabbath. And he was plucking corn, which is a form of work. So this guy really wasn't thinking about the creator at all. What you think about that? He wasn't thinking about the creator. But if you leave it up to him, he'll throw you off and say, oh, well, David ate the showbread. Go read about David. Okay, so when I read about David, it's going to show me that David was on the run. What it got to do with you? Well, he ate the showbread. Okay. He wasn't preparing. He had no opportunity to prepare because Saul was chasing him. What did it have to do with you? He said, well, the priest broke the law by conducting things on the Sabbath. But it was the obligation. They were told to do that. That's what the priesthood was set up for. What did that have to do with you? Well, y'all talk about going to the temple, but there's one that's standing here that's greater than the temple. Okay? But that's the temple is where the creative presence is. But still, what that have to do with you and your disciples plucking the corn on the Sabbath? So when you look at it, if you read it on verse 8, he said what? But I say unto you, for the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath day. So he's telling you that the Sabbath day, he's greater than. He's not subject to trying to find mercy like David on the Sabbath, trying to find mercy like the priests when they break the law, and house, and like the creative spirit was housed in the temple. He said he's greater than that. Who made JC greater? Because the Sabbath, the Creator made that. That's the day of rest. And the Creator made that the day of rest because of his creation. He was no longer creating. So who made JC the Lord over the Sabbath? Did he just break the law when he said that? Did JC break the law by saying he's the Lord over the Sabbath? Did he break the law by saying he was the Lord over the Sabbath? Did he break the law? See, these Christians and these Christian lights, they'll come and get most of you because most of y'all don't know the law. Did JC break the law by saying he's the Lord over the Sabbath? Did he break the law? The Sabbath, the Creator made specifically for what? What was the reason that the Creator made the Sabbath for? Why did the Creator create the Sabbath? Why did the Creator make the Sabbath? Because JC said he's the Lord over it. So now let's go to Genesis 2. Thus says the what? The heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them, they were finished. And on the seventh day, the Creator ended all his works. He ended all his works, which he had what? Made. And he rested on the what? Seventh day from all his works which he had made. The Creator blessed he rested from his creation. He's no longer creating anything. There's no new creation that's on this earth. Everything that's created, the Creator made, except when man put his hands involved, and when man's hand got involved. I want you to think about that. The Creator is not creating no more. So if the Creator is not creating no more in the heavens or on the earth, then what was JC saying when he said, I go away and prepare a place? When you prepare something, that means you are working to create. So when was there ever any rest for the creation of the Creator? When was it? The Bible says he rested on the seventh. He created the seventh. And it says, and the creator blessed the seventh day and he set it apart because that is in that, because that it, excuse me, because that in it, he had what? Rested from all his works, which the creator had made. So if the creator rested from his works, why JC plucking corn? Because the Sabbath was made to rest. Why is JC plucking corn? Why is he plucking corn? Why is his disciples plucking corn? Why was they not prepared? 6 days shall thou work. In the seventh, you're supposed to be what? Resting. Why? What prevented JC and his disciples from following that flow plan that the creator has already ordained? They were home, supposedly. So what was causing JC and his disciples not to be in a prepared state? What was it? So then, if you look at it, he said what? Let's go back to Matthew, the 12th chapter. Because now we know that the creator created the Sabbath for himself. The creator made the Sabbath for himself, and he separated that day from the 6 days. So how did JC become the Lord over one day, which is the Sabbath, but he's not Lord over the 6 days, which is preparation? Why he's not the Lord over the preparation stage? Why do he have to be the Lord over the Sabbath? That's my next question. Why is he the Lord over the Sabbath, but he's not the Lord over the 6 days? Why is he trying to take charge over the Lord, over the Creator's rest? But he's not taking over the preparation before the Sabbath. Why is he only saying he's the Lord over the Sabbath and not over the preparation stage of the Sabbath? We have a problem. We have a problem. We have a problem. Why is he not taking charge over the 6 days, which would be the preparation? But he's taking charge over the Creator's rest. Is JC committing adultery? Idolatry? You have to think. You have to think. You have to think. You have to think. Why he never declared himself to be Lord over the 6 days. But he's talking about he became Lord over the day that the Creator made rest for himself. He's telling you he's the Lord over it. So David, the priest in the temple, don't have nothing on him. This is what he's telling you. Because he is the Lord over the Sabbath. That's what he's telling you. He's telling you he's that thing. He's that man. He's that number one dude. The law of the Sabbath don't pertain to him. That's what he's telling you. The law of the Sabbath does not pertain to him. That's what he's telling you. It don't pertain to him. It doesn't matter if you catch me red-handed or you don't. I'm not subject to the rules and the regulations of the Sabbath because I am the Lord over it. But you don't never see where the Creator put anyone in charge of his day of rest. You don't see it. But he's telling you that was given to him. According to Matthew, the 11th chapter, verse 27, he's telling you that everything that belongs to the Creator was given to him. That's what he's telling you. He said everything that is of the Father was given to him. So if the Creator created the Sabbath for himself, he passed that on to me. I'm in charge of the Sabbath now. I'm over the Sabbath now. I am the Sabbath. This is what JC is saying. When JC said that, did he break a law? Did JC break a law? Because we sit there and tell you, we say, oh, he's the Lord of the Sabbath. Well, who made him that? Because the Sabbath was created by the Creator to symbolize rest. He never said that he gave man power over the Sabbath. That's the Creator's day of rest. It says the Creator made that for himself. So now how do we get to the point where is that the Creator made the Sabbath for himself? Now a man or an angel now can take charge over it. Somebody help me make that make sense. Somebody help me make that make sense. How do we do it? How do we get down like that? How do we do it? Did he break the law? Did he break the law? Because if he broke the law, then how can he be the Lord over anything that the Creator made for himself? This is the problem. This is the real main problem. This is the problem. He said he is the Lord over the Sabbath. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. He is the master over the Sabbath. The Sabbath belongs to him. So he's telling the Pharisees he's not subject to the actual rules that y'all follow for the Sabbath because the Sabbath belongs to him. Did JC just lie? Did JC just lie? Did JC just lie? In verse 9, it says, and when he was departed hence, he went into their synagogues. So family, Why did JC go into the synagogues? The synagogue. For what? On the Sabbath. Why did he go to the synagogue for the Sabbath? They just got finished plucking corn. So they ate kind of good. They needed a little small snack. They were hungry. Their bellies were growling. They needed a little snack. So they saw corn and they began to what? Pluck. And they did eat. Did JC break the law? Did he break the law in verse 10? He went to their temple. And verse 10 says, and behold, there was a man which had his hand withered. There was a man that had his hand withered. One hand was longer than the other. Okay. And he asked them, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him? Now, family, I'm going to ask a question. What do the Bible says about deformity? What do Torah says about deformity? What do the Bible says about deformity? What do the Bible says about deform? Leviticus 21:18. For whatsoever man he be that has a blemish, he shall not approach a blind man or lame, or he that has what, a flat nose, or anything superfluous. You see? Or anything that is superfluous. Or superficial. Did he break the law? Did JC break the law? By doing what he did? Did he break the law? Because JC is telling you he's over the Sabbath. That's what he's telling you. None of the rules belongs to me. I mean, they don't belong to me. They belong to you, but not me. A man is supposed to have a blemish. He's not supposed to have a blemish. No man who has any defect may come near. No man who is blind or lame, disfigured, or deformed. You see? Was that not a deformity? Yes, it was. That was deformed. He healed this man, supposedly. Did he break the law? Did JC break the law? I'm not gonna be here all night. Did he break the law? You don't supposed to be messing with anybody that has a deformity. Period. Did JC break the law? Many of you would say no. He didn't break the law. Well, he went into the synagogue and he saw a man that had a withered hand. Is a withered hand a deformity? That's my question. Did he break the law by healing that man who had a withered hand? Did he break the law? Because this man healed a man who had a withered arm. How did he not break the law? Anybody got any questions? Any questions somebody want to put up in the chat? Speak now, forever hold your peace. JC was breaking the law. Did he break the law? Let's go back to Matthew. Because he healed this man who had a defective arm. He healed this man who had a defective arm. It says, no man who has any defect may approach. No man who is blind, lame, defigure, or deformed. No man who has a broken what? Foot or hand. So how this man who was deformed was in the synagogue? How was he in the synagogue? Because if you are disfigured, you can't come into the presence of the Creator. So I got to. That's my question. The man was disfigured. And he healed that man. He healed that man who was disfigured. How you know the creator didn't put that punishment on him? Anybody got any questions? Y'all know this. Y'all know the Memorial Passover is coming up. Nobody made no emphasis on that. None whatsoever. Told y'all I'm not gonna be on all night. Got a piece of 11 coming up. These are feasts that we were supposed to keep. Nobody never stepped before and said, hey, what can we do to keep it? At the FTR Network, we have a One God project. We put together, released in April. We hope that some of you, or all of you, will buy it. Support the cause, you know. Praise it. We want to make sure that you all know, you know, that we are doing different things that's going to be coming about. Okay. JC Sin. He said, heal the man that had a defect. That man who had a defect wasn't supposed to be in the temple anyhow. So my question is, why nobody never called this out? Why not? He healed a man who had a defect. It's like JC was just on a rampage. This is the problem. Let's go back and do a couple of more. Okay. Look what verse 5 says. But you would have you read in the law how that the established days, the Sabbath days, he what? The priest in the temple profaned the Sabbath and a what? And are blameless. But he said, but I say unto you that in the place is one greater than the temple. See, he's going to put you in a position to think about what he's talking about. There's going to be one. There's one that's greater than the temple. Well, who is that? He was talking about himself. He was talking about himself, family. He was talking about himself. Verse 13. Now let's go back. Let's go back to verse 12. How much then is a man better than a sheep? He's asking the question, how is it that the sheep is better than excuse me, the man is better than the sheep? Verse 13. Then he said unto the man, stretch forth the hand, and he stretched it forth, and I was what? Restored, while like as and what? As the altar. All he did was the man stretch out his hand, and he was instantly healed. What's wrong with this picture? Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might what? Destroy him. So the Pharisees is now taking counsel against JC. Hey, shalom, brother Rob Spink. Happy Shabbat, shalom. So now the Pharisees is now going against JC. This man healed somebody in the temple. First of all, the man who had a deformity is supposed to be in the temple. He didn't even supposed to approach the Creator. You see? So there was deformity already. And this man was healed in the temple. Stretch his hand out. And he saw his hand come back forward. And his hand came back forward. See? Verse 14. Then the Pharisees went out and held the counsel against them, how they might destroy him. But when JC knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitude followed him, and he healed what? Them all. So you mean tell me JC is healing everybody? He just go around, you get healing, like Oprah was giving everybody a car? What you think about that? I want you to think about that. Anybody got any questions? Put up in the chat or come up on the platform. This man healed everybody in the multitude. What y'all think about that? We ready to shut it down. This is supposed to be the question and answer session. I'm not gonna keep it open if ain't nobody got no questions. If you believe in this dude, this was the time to bring forth the questions. I don't know what the global reset is, Sister Latoya. I don't know how the global reset. I ain't trying to get to know. That's like winding your clock backwards. He said, sorry, I had one of my comments wrong. I don't know. But this is a problem. Brother Trey saying, what are the scriptures for the feast of Passover? That's Leviticus 23, brother. That's Leviticus 23, also in Exodus and Deuteronomy. So can I have them for my family? Sure. You look up Passover. But the main point of the law is Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. It tells you all the feast days that you're supposed to be keeping. But I don't know nothing about no global reset. I really don't. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. You can't hear me? Hear me now? You hear me now? Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Okay, all praises. So, any other questions? JC is a lawbreaker. He's a lawbreaker. JC breaks the law deliberately. So, how do we keep this man blameless? What do we do? He healed a man in the synagogue who had a withered hand. The Bible tells you that those type of people don't supposed to even be approaching the temple. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. We're not gonna hold you too much longer. Not on this one. Next time we go further into Matthew 12 chapter. We got to be able to have a conversation. This is Maury Yacob and ITF Network. If we don't have any questions, I'm not gonna hold the session open too much longer. See y'all. Be looking for the podcast, Fit the Truth. We're going to be over there tomorrow again. The brother is going to be releasing the Indigenous Talk Points podcast. Where's that? We are literally breaking down certain points of the scriptures dealing with Torah and us being indigenous to America. So be looking out for the Spit the Truth podcast, and be looking out, like I said, be looking out also for the One God Project with Maury Yacob and Victoria. She will be on different types of music that will give creative praise. So until then, family, I just like to say thank you for joining me. Shalom.